Hello everybody, welcome to another video analyze. Today we're gonna talk about the elimination race, the 10k elimination race from the European Championship 2022. It's more about the different faults that we see in the race more than basically the tactical analyze today, because this race was actually quite dirty, especially all the first part of the race. There is a lot of very good skater there. The track is narrow, and it creates basically some condition for having little more fault than usual, and everybody was a bit nervous that evening on that race. So usually it's not filmed super good, unfortunately. So and especially like I say many times, when we film our sport with camera going with a front view in the straight line, it's not the best because basically we don't see the feeling of the speed in the straight line. So when we have this view, actually it's not the best for our sport. It's nice to see the changing line, but it's not actually the best to appreciate the speed and to see actually all the different fights. So you see actually already the beginning of the race, everybody was nervous. Everybody put one or two hand on the skater in front almost. Everybody's changing line, and it was very nervous. It's actually a restart because there was a quite impressive crash at the beginning of this race, if I'm correct, that evening. So they had a restart, and you see, so there is a German team, Italian team, French team, some Swiss skater, Portugal, so basic, all the basic classic country from Europe, Italy, and they try to, it's team of 3 skater, and it's quite an important point compared to World Championship, because when you have team of 3 skater, it creates more context for fault. Here, for example, we already can see, let's go back in this corner. If you look at Bart and the Spanish skater, so let's see here, you see Bart is putting his hand actually to take out the hand of the Spanish skater behind him. So we see a lot of action like this in the pack. It's very small details, but it shows also how skaters want to protect their own space in the pack. So we are close to the basically the first action. I notice we have the German going fast with Niels leading for Felix at the moment to try to protect him, to let him save energy. The Belgium is in the second line, doing the tempo in the second line, going in 3rd position almost now, and France is behind Germany. Pretty good, comfortable position at this moment. It's very hard to see all the little fight happening in the race, but very soon we have one at 2 minutes 28. You will see quite some action going here. Whoop. And already you see how much they will grab. So we have Martin Ferrier jumping to the inside part of the track to pass, I think, the German, and I don't know how many hands is on Bart at this moment of the race, but I guess there is at least 1 or 2 and from Martin, 1 hand easily from the Italian. So he has 3 hands on his hip. It's not the best and most comfortable position to skate. So let's check this again. You will see it's quite irritating, and of course he has to kind of push the hand of the other to get some space to be able to skate correctly. I'm not blaming any skater actually in this race. I'm not protective to Bart or any other. I mean, probably in these first 20 laps everybody did his part of little pushing, grabbing, etc. And if I was in the pack, I would have probably done the same. It's like we cannot blame the skater. It's the context of the race that create this. It's not the best, but it's also making the show at the same time. Not sure this is what we want to show always, but still it can be spectacular. For me, this evening was really too much, and I really hope that actually at the beginning of the race the referee could give a lot more warnings, a lot more disqualification, but also it's super difficult for the referee first to be able to see. If you look at the video, even at just normal speed like this, you would not even see 1 out of 10 of the fault in the pack. It's very hard to take the decision. The rules are not super clear to be able to really take the correct decision. So we cannot also, I think, not really blame also the referee on this. It's a quite difficult job at this level to evaluate what is a warning, what should be a DQ, and it's even harder to tell that now with the rules, when there is a DQ and the skater is DQ for the next race, I think it's even harder for the referee to be able to put a position. So if they had just the opportunity to DQ when they see something quite obvious, it has less consequence for the rest of the championship, and it would basically make the skater more quite faster in the race. So at 3:51, like in a few seconds, we'll see another move that was quite aggressive. Let's say, if I'm correct, I write 3:51 and I miss it here. So let's go back to it to see what I was talking about, probably. So maybe I write wrong. So it will come quite on. Maybe here you see all the hand with the skater. Really a lot of fight. Still, yeah, this part of the race. Here was more on the Italian skater this time. Let's go back to it. Let's try to find out how many hands. I will show it normal speed again. Look, boom, boom, boom. Yes, to clean so many contact between the skater till the end of the straight line. Allez, let's go back to try to see this more in step-by-step mode. So you see the Italian is going on the outside. I don't know, taking out one hand here from a skater. There's a lot of changing line from outside to inside on this track, so this is creating even more fault. And you see this is also the classic line the skater want to take. They go on the outside out of the corner, then they go inside in the middle of the track. So its trajectory is called making the wave, and it creates basically out of the corner one time a compression zone of skater. That's why there is a lot of fault, and then at the end of the straight, like on the picture now on the screen, it creates, when the skater go to the inside again, it creates another zone of compact, where the skater get all compact together, so they are kind of forced to use their hand to protect themselves, to maintain position, to keep good balance. You see outside, then going inside again here, and it's it's a classic technique, but on this track, super narrow with tight corner, it exaggerates all the effect, and there is a lot of little fault happening here. So sometimes you see with the camera they are a bit late. It's a little bit sad because this race is very nice, and when it's filmed correctly, it makes it super cool. So next move will come quite soon. I note something quite aggressive, if I remember good, in 20 seconds, so basically next lap. At the moment it's a little more quiet when the tempo is done in front, from the Belgium, from the Italian, or from the French. There is less passing in the top 10 position, and it go a bit easier. But as soon as they slow down a little bit, there is opportunity to pass, then there is a lot more fighting. Like what's gonna happen probably now. Let's see. Yeah, that was with Martin complaining about something in the referee, to the referee. Not sure exactly. It's still the same little grabbing things and using hands between a train of one team of 2 or 3 skater. Actually, the mistake of some skater also is that they try to get inside the team. So if there is 3 skater from France, it's a bit it's not the best choice to try to enter in between the French. It's better to try to enter in front or behind, and so it gives bigger advantage for the team of 3. But of course, if you try to enter in the middle of one team, you have much more chance to make fault. It's more risky, and it's a bit useless also, because it's super easy for the team to basically get back in position. They will not be in the correct order, but it's super easy at this level for the team to reorganize and protect themselves. So entering in the middle of a team is kind of usually a useless action in this case. So I want to jump now to a part of the race. There was one DQ from Felix. Sorry Felix, you were a good example actually in this race. Felix was not really DQ, he was eliminated by fault in this race. Let me see if I can find this back. This was way earlier. I need to go back for a little fault on a skater from Portugal. I think it's probably next lap. So you will see out of the corner, from the next corner, Felix go out. He's passed from the inside from a skater from Portugal, and he's up, like pushing him back here on the up. This little move, I guess you saw it on the outside, the white skater pulling back the skater with the red skin suit. Felix, we saw you on video, and we know you don't do this very often, but the referee could see it actually, and that was good from them, and they DQ Felix. They eliminated Felix for fault, which is more comfortable because then he's only out for this race and not DQ. A DQ would be a sport fault, and I mean it would have been DQ from this race and the next one. So actually here they took the decision to eliminate Felix by fault, so a bit easier. But it's a classic case when the skater go out of the corner. Maybe we will be able to see in the next one. It goes so fast, and with the little wave technique there is a lot of contact out of the corner. Of course now we don't see it anymore, the race changed a bit, and you see it start to be after 8 minutes more like one line. Some nice move here again, actually from Victor, going totally inside the track. There was no disqualification, no warning, nothing here, and you see it's a bit dangerous. Here was actually, I think, Miguel Bravo, who is pushing. Boom, you see he's coming with his shoulders, little bit roller derby style, to push the French skater on the inside. I think it's Victor. On the picture we also see we have 3 skaters who are out of the track at this moment of the race. So yeah, there is still a lot of point we can tell in this race, but if we disqualify basically all the skaters who went out of the track in this race, maybe nobody would have finished the race almost. So here, not the kind of move we like to see. Sorry Miguel about this, but it's just to show. I don't tell I would have done better in those cases also. But you see, we have many times this. At least let's say he keep his arm around him and go shoulders to shoulders, but still it's not the best move, and it could be a bit dangerous actually. It is dangerous to do this, but we saw sometimes some even worse move where the skater is really pulling the elbow like this and going into the other skater. I had one example like this somewhere in this video. Let's hope we can see it a little later. It was from an Italian skater this time, and it's the kind of move that it's not really nice to do, because it's a bit, it shows how aggressive. So actually it's a good sign for a referee. If you see a skater bringing the elbow like this, he is the one who have the intention of doing a fault. So let's see, probably in few laps we will have this situation if I remember good, but in this video you can see a lot of behavior of skater, and every time you see a skater basically doing this with his elbow and changing line, it's not the best behavior to make a clean move like most of the time Bart is doing, let's say. I don't say it's easier for Bart to do clean races, but when you're so dominant like this, he's most of the time in an easier position compared to other skaters. So it makes his life easier, but it's also because he trained hard enough probably to put himself in an easier position. So let's wait. You see again one more time here, same, I think it was on Nolan. Christian Kromoser, shoulders to shoulders. No, it was Victor again. So second time for him to be out of the track because skater is protecting position. The pack is moving from outside to inside. The skater, they fix to each other like a train, and to protect their space, basically, boom, they go with the shoulder in a bit aggressive way. Very tricky to do here. Christian Kromoser, we saw you, but not easy also to do differently. You would not let everybody enter in the pack so easy like this, so yeah, there is no really a perfect way to do it, especially if there is not a lot of warning or a lot of disqualification at the beginning of the race. The skater, like this evening, they feel they have to do a lot to protect themselves, because it becomes, they have to make the law at some point, and so yeah, they have to be more aggressive than normal, and except when they are in front position. But yeah, it's important for referee to try to be very strict at the beginning of the race. If they could try to DQ more skater earlier, actually, not from sport fault if possible, but yeah, that was a good example of what we see out of the corner. You see how the pack will go super compact, and in a very small zone we have 4-5 skaters, so of course they have to grab a little bit themselves just to be able to maintain their balance, and they have to protect their position. So it's a hard job to do at this moment. Very difficult to keep skating, protect your position, not crash, and you go in a small space between the barrier and the skater, almost 40-45 kilometers an hour, standing on one foot. So yeah, it's not an easy job at the office at this moment, and but all the skaters are amazing. They know how to do this, they make the show, and you see almost every time out of the corner they would go into this. Okay, here that was the nice example of the, let's call it, elbow attack for today. Italian skater, boom, putting the elbow first, then attacking Victor again. That was a lot of attack on Victor today, the French skater. And you see the elbow is already there. So for me this is intentional. It's already, the skater is going out of his line. There is one line, there is one skater inside alone. It's a very typical good case here. Everybody's in line, and the skater, he will have some contact with the French skater before, and he's already putting his elbow and going into the direction of the other one. So it's almost like an attack. You see the French guy is maybe starting to put his elbow also a little bit as a protection, because it's, let's see, is looking now to each, they are looking at each other. The Italian skater knows they will go in contact, and really not a good move, almost over the shoulders, knee not far from the head, I would say. Then he put his elbow in front. For me it's an attack. This should be a direct DQ when a referee saw a move like this. It's also you see, and then he keep pushing the skater to the inside track. He is grabbing the Swiss skater in front, so putting his hand on his hip is not good for the stability. They have to do it at this moment. I mean, when I was in a pack for elimination, I was also sometimes had to put my hands on the hip of the skater. But the point I really want to show here is this changing line with the elbow. For me, that should be direct to DQ. I don't have my exam as a referee, but if I could give one advice of referee, try to look those behavior. They are crucial to show which skater is the more attacking, let's say. It's not done in a bad way. It's very protective for himself maybe, but in that case that should be DQ of a race. And then after the last part of this race is a little more clean. Bart is doing the tempo. Skater are all getting a bit tired already, so they will be more or less in one line. And we have then a nice finish between the two Belgium skater. Nice victory of Jason, protected by Bart Swings. Livio Wenger doing really good actually, because he's always alone in that race. He has no teammate to help him, and he's always taking good position, protecting himself good, doing some little fault here, but like everybody that evening. And I think he got a nice third place that evening, so pretty good. Let's maybe quickly watch actually the finish of this race for the pleasure, because that was a great race. You see Bart Swing letting Jason's 2 laps to go, I think at this moment, maybe 1.5 lap, so 300 meters. Then Bart protecting super good. He's looking where is Livio, giving a little gap in case Livio is passing, like there is 3-4 meters security for Jason. Up, you see out of the corner, always a little look of Bart to check where is Livio. Up, I look behind to evaluate the distance to see what's the situation. I think half lap to go, controlling, going out of last straight line, and first Jason, second Bart, third Livio. Super nice podium. Congratulations, guys. I hope those races get a little more clean. I love elimination. It's always some of the cool race. It's the race for the skater who is the king of the pack. I would say the skater with the most skills of challenging position, taking position, protecting position. Yeah, one of my favorite race for this. It's also can be a very fun race, but that evening, to be honest, that was not so fun because it was too aggressive, a bit too risky for most of the skater, and at this moment when it goes little over the limit, I like it little less. But let's hope at World Championship with 2 skater per team it gets a bit more clean again, and that referee have opportunity to maybe get more argument to be strict at the beginning of the race. Thanks for following this video. I hope you like it. I hope you like those kind of little analyze, and there was a bit teaching of referee things here, a bit of analyze of the fault, and of course we will do more in the next video, probably in few days. Thanks for following. See you. Bye bye.